Yo, what is going on, guys? This is your boy TrevCL here, and today I am here with week 8 of season 6 of the NPL. Now, last week we played Zazo, and yeah, that was kind of a train wreck. We missed the Stone Edge, we got crit behind the light screen, we got 6-0'd. Not really the way I was planning last week to turn out, but you know, we have to live with these things, we have to learn to take the punches and punch back the next week. But this week we are playing Kris, and he's obviously a really good friend of mine. As you know, if you've been here on the channel for a while, you'd know that we are really good buds. We've had quite a few league battles together. We're probably approaching double digits now. Overall in league battles, and then in NPL we've had at least 5 or 6 league battles in NPL alone. So yeah, so he's definitely a good bud, but you know, in my position, you can't afford to take it easy on your friends. So yep, we take on Kris and his Arizona Carvanhas, and our team matchups will be popping up on screen on the right side in 1, 2, and 3. I guess I should have said 3, 2, 1, but oh well, it doesn't really matter. But as you can see, he has a team of Clefable, Weavile, Mega Venusaur, Thunderous T, Gothitelle, Lucario, Tentacruel, Bronzong, Haxorus, Seismitoad, and Staraptor. So definitely a super threatening team. Indeed, probably one of the best, if not arguably the best drafts in the league. One thing to note is that Kris is coming off a similar result last week than we had. You know, he got 5-0'd and he was crit behind a screen. So, you know, he's kind of similar to what happened to us last week, where we were crit behind a screen, and you know, we were overall hacks and lost by a big differential. So I know both of us, especially Kris, because you know, he was, before that he had only lost 1 game all season. So I'm definitely know he wants to rebound to hit that 6-2 mark. I definitely want to win this game, because going 4-4 with 4 weeks to go would be great. We'd still probably be out of the playoff race, as we are right now currently 1 game behind Seb, but you know, we would have at least a chance to still have a chance to make playoffs, and we would be drifting further away from the relegation zone, which is definitely not a good place to go. If we win this week and Carney wins against Cloud, we at least would be guaranteed to not be automatically relegated, pretty much. But that third to last place finish is still entirely possible. So we gotta play well these last 5 weeks or so. But enough talk about that, about, you know, negative stuff. Let's get into the team. So as you can see, I'm bringing a team of Zygarde, Celesteela, Mega Diancie, Necrozma, Aselgor, and Dragouge. So let's get into the Zygarde set first. So this Zygarde set is obviously banded, something you've seen a couple times run from me before in past games. And against Kris, this is probably the best matchup banded Zygarde has had all season, as really his best switching to it is Mega Venusaur, which can, you know, in all fairness, take it very well. But at the same time, you can see I have a Selgor here, and then you see I have 2 possible rockers here. I'll get into which one is the rocker. So I do have spikes on the Selgor, and I have rocks on my Necrozma. So, and his only hazard remover is Tentacruel, unless you want to count Intimidate Staraptor, which I don't even think he's going to bring Staraptor at all, based on the fact that I have the Celesteela, which kind of hard walls it. I mean, even Fizdef Celesteela just doesn't want to take like a banded close combat, but like I can still eat up at least 2 of those. And if I have rocks up, then I'm pressuring his Staraptor anyway. So yeah, I really feel like the only one that could possibly come against me is the Tentacruel, and even then I have stuff like Zygarde. It's pretty much just a free 1,000 arrows. Celesteela completely checks Tentacruel and can hit it with an Earthquake. Diancie can hit it with Diamond Storm, Psy Shock, Earth Power, Psychic, all that good stuff. And even things that aren't on my team currently, and I obviously also have Mesprit and Necrozma. but even like stuff like Rodent Pete with Thunderbolt, Kamala with Earthquake, all that good stuff. So even though all stuff like Selgor, but outside of that, it can't really do much. So I don't expect him to bring it. So the speed is, I could have outsped the Lucario by going Jolly max speed, but I really needed the Adamant. And outside of, outspeeding Jolly max speed Lucario, or even outspeeding Adamant, I really, didn't need that much speed to outspeed some of the portions on his team. So I basically made it outspeed a Timid max speed non-Scarf to Gothitelle. It also outspeeds a Tentacruel with around, 60 investment, I think, in speed, something around there. So very nice. It also outspeeds a modest Seismitoad, just in case he brought like offensive Seismitoad, which I, in all fairness, could see, because outside of Alomomola, offensive Seismitoad has a fairly nice matchup, as it can kind of wreck my stuff. And in this matchup, Alomomola is not a good bring against a Mega Venusaur and a Thunderous T, and even a Clef, so not very good matchup. So I think he knows that, and he could take advantage of that. But moving on, since we're already 6 minutes in to the team builder, I'm going to go kind of faster with these, hopefully. Next we have Banded Celesteela, Heavy Slam, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Flame Charge. The speed allows us to outspeed a Weavile, speed creeping our fastest mon at Mega Diancie when we get 2 Flame Chargers up, which I don't see happening, but at the same time, you always should prep for that. Plus, I was going to speed creep Clef anyway, because I wanted to make sure even if he ran like a pretty speedy Clef, like 40 or even 80 speed EVs, that I could outspeed it. Maybe not 80, but like 60, which I could definitely see him running for like speed creep and Dragouge and Celesteela. So my Dragouge and Celesteela are extra speedy, just to make sure that a sped crept Clef is not a problem. Bandit Heavy Slam does a whole ton of damage. It 2-hit KOs basically his entire team outside of Fizdef, Tentacruel, and then any sort of Bronzong, even like fully Spadef, can take 2. But after Rocks, if it's just the standard mixed defense set, Heavy Slam does actually guarantee 3-hit KO after Rocks, which is nice. It OHKO stuff like Clefable, even the standard mixed defense Clef at +1 defense if he's Cosmic Power dies to Heavy Slam. Lucario and Thundy T, even if they're max HP and they resist Heavy Slam, still get 2-hit KO'd. Mega Venusaur, Fizdef gets 2-hit KO'd after Rocks. And I believe Heavy Slam, it does have 16 PP, so I will be able to outstall his Synthesis. If he does have Leech Seed, then he could potentially outlive me, but even then I don't see that happening. And I would just switch out on that occasion. But moving on, we have Mega Diancie, which outspeeds his entire team outside of Scarfers and Weavile, so that's why I'm obviously bringing it. It's probably the second biggest offensive threat, as really all he has is Bronzong, and between having to switch into Celesteela and Necrozma and Selgor, I feel like, and Dragouge, really, that's what this team is built around, pressuring Bronzong so much, bringing Celesteela, Dragouge, Necrozma to, pressure Bronzong to switch in, that Mega Diancie just will have a field day once it's weakened. For attacks, I'm Moonblast, Diamond Storm for the Spadef, possibly even Calm Mind Clefable. If it's Calm Mind, then I can just hit it with the Diamond Storm after it boosts up a little bit. Then Psychic for Venusaur, obviously, and then Earth Power for the Lucario, and basically for Lucario, just because I don't think Moonblast could OHKO if he was a little bit bulkier variant, so I just want Earth Power there, just in case. Next, we go on to Necrozma. This is my Weavile check. A Psychic type being my Weavile check. Never would have thought I would ever had this before Gen 7, but Necrozma is indeed the Weavile check with the Colbur Berry, Stealth Rock, Psychic, Flash Cannon, and Moonlight. Flash Cannon's there just to hit the Weavile, but it also hits like the Clefable and stuff. I have enough speed to outspeed Mega Venusaur, even if he speed creeps. Basically, all my speed creeps in like Celesteela, Necrozma, and Dragouge, I've sped crept like so much that he would have to run like 40 EVs on more than 40 EVs on Venusaur, which I don't think he can afford to run. and he would have to run like more than 60 EVs in speed on Clef, or even more, like 80 to outspeed Celesteela, and like at least 40 to outspeed Dragouge. So basically, I will outspeed those things I need to outspeed, and then I'm modest because I didn't need all the defense. This basically allows me to take Iso Crash plus knockoff after rocks, so that was good enough for me. And even without rocks, I could take 2 knockoffs, I believe. So yeah, and so that allowed me to run modest because I really do like doing a ton of damage to the Mega Venusaur. Next, and second last, we have a Selgor with Spikes, Acid Spray, and then Bug Buzz Focus Blast. Now obviously this is walled by Thundy, but Thundy really doesn't appreciate Acid Spray plus Bug Buzz. In fact, it does like Acid Spray does like 18% depending on what his spread is. At least it's going to do at least like 12 to 15%, if not more. And that's like the bulkiest variant. So if it's less bulky, the higher the damage goes. And then the Fallen Bug Buzz will do anywhere from like 30, 40, possibly even like 45, depending on his investment. So really won't like it, and it'll definitely Acid Spray plus Bug Buzz definitely puts it in Banded Zygarde range. Especially if it's after rocks, then like even Bug Buzz plus rocks might be enough. And then Spikes just to pressure his entire team. Obviously, again, he only has one really reliable hazard remover, and then the other one is not even likely to come against my team, let alone as a inferior bring and intimidate Staraptor. So yep, that is a Selgor's role. It also outspeeds his entire team because it's fast as Sonic. And then finally we have a Speedy Dragouge with Haze 3 attacks, Shadow Ball for Bronzong, Haze obviously for the Clef, as well as I actually had a mock where I was at -2 after dropping a Draco and killing a Weavile, and I was able, and my opponent sent in Thundy, and I clicked Haze because that was just the best thing to do against if he set up an agility or set up a nasty plot. And you know, Haze removes all stat changes, so I got my I actually got my neutral special attack back, and I was then able to OHKO it with Draco the next turn, which is really nice. So that's another side effect of Haze that's nice. And then Sludge Wave plus Draco, being that he probably has to run Fizz Def Venusaur because he knows Banded Zygarde is a huge threat to his team. This is going to do a ton, even if he's like mixed, like if he, there's no way he can wall both Dragouge and Zygarde, so dual Dragon types are really nice here. And I sped crept a lot for Clef, so even he has to be like a really speedy Clef. I'm talking like 48, 52 EV, something like that. And I just don't think he can afford to run those. Just like on Necrozma, I don't think he can afford to run the speed EVs to outspeed it. He definitely can't afford to run enough speed EVs to outspeed it Celesteela, and even Dragouge is stretching. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident in this team. So yeah, I will see you guys with the battle. And here we are, guys, with the battle. Now, as you can see, he did bring the Weavile. You know, that's a big threat. Thundy T, obviously a big threat. Clef was another big threat he could bring. He brought Bronzong for rocks. Haxorus was also something, and I didn't really mention in my team builder like at all, I think, but that was also a potential big threat as DD. And if really, I mean, Celesteela kind of hard walls it, but at the same time, I'm not defensive, and I think he kind of knew I would probably bring more of an offensive Celesteela against him, since defensive Celesteela really can't get past Mega Venusaur. So I think he kind of knew that offensive Celesteela was coming. But yeah, good thing to see is neither Raptor or Tentacruel. So right here, my goal right here is to get up rocks as soon as possible. And actually looking at the matchup, the Necrozma gets up rocks on pretty much everything. I'm not afraid of Clef, because unless it's Braviarys Cosmic Power, like he can't really set up on me all that much. And even if he is Cosmic Power, again, I have Haze Dragouge. So basically Necrozma is the freest of rocks right here. So let's get right into the game. So I'm going to lead off with Necrozma, as I said. So he's going to lead off with Haxorus. Now right here, he's can't kill me. He doesn't run a risk me killing, doing a lot of damage to Psychic. So I'm going to get up my rocks here. And I think I'm going to switch directly into my Celesteela here, as he actually does go for the Calm Mind. And now right here I can just click Heavy Slam and do a ton of damage. And in comes the Bronzong, and as you can see, he's not Fizz Def, he's more of a mixed def spread, which means I can actually 3-hit KO it. Now, right here, I'm going to pause, because you think my play would possibly be to Heavy Slam again and kill this off, get the Beast Boost, and look really good against everything except Thundy. But at the same time, what I was fearing here is that he would sack this off, and then he would go into Thundy, and if he was double dance, I was a little bit in trouble, just because I really didn't want to risk him going for a T-Bolt. Like, if I stayed in and went for Heavy Slam as he set up with Agility or Nasty Plot, then he lost Thundy, unless he was like super fat Thundy, and even then it would be a roll in my favor, as even max HP is at +1 with a band, is O-code after rocks, so he would have to be like have serious Fizz Def investment. But yeah, I decided my best play was Zygarde because it forced in something that wasn't Thunderous, or at least something that he would think twice about setting up a Nasty Plot on, because, you know, I'm inclined to switch my Celesteela out on a Thunderous, but I'm not necessarily inclined to switch my Zygarde out on a Thunderous. Plus, he doesn't know what kind of Zygarde I could be. I could be like a Scarf Zygarde, although Bandit is probably, if from his perspective, the best set against his team. So yeah, I'm just going to go into Zygarde. That's why I made this play, as he actually is going to Hypnosis, and that's not something I was expecting. It was a little bit unfortunate he hit that, but you know, it's 60%, so it's not like a huge like piece of packs. Now right here is a very important turn, as I'll just let it play out first before I say anything. So I wake up on the first turn, so I get a first turn wake up as I go for EQ, and he misses Leech Seed. So this is big in a couple ways. It's big in the fact that he obviously doesn't get out of range of the EQ. Now I'm actually not sure what the roll, because I know that if he was max defense Mega Venu, like Adamant Bandit 1000 Arrows does like 37 max, or 37. I'm actually not sure. I think it does like high 30s max. So that means Earthquake to max defense does like probably 45 max, something like that, something around that range. But I also know that, well, I don't know at the time, but he wasn't actually max defense. In fact, he was actually missing about 100 defense EVs. Not missing, but he had 100 SPDF EVs, so he wasn't like that close to max defense. But he was bold, so I'm not sure what the roll was on that EQ. I'm pretty sure after Leech Seed recovery, he still would have been able to live another EQ. So, but I'm not like 100% sure what the roll was. I'm just going to assume that he could have lived another EQ no matter what if he had hit the Leech Seed. So, again, that's really unfortunate, but he did hit the Hypnosis, but at the same time, I got a first turn wake up, and he missed the Leech Seed. So, you know, really hard to say how much it mattered because it's so early in the game. It definitely does matter, but again, it's kind of hard to say how much truly that will have an impact in this game, because now he has to obviously switch out Mega Venusaur. I almost wanted to double out here because the Bronzong switch, he wasn't just going to sack Mega Venu, but I just wanted to make sure that I kept Mega Venu pretty low. So right here I'm going to go into Selgor as he actually hits another Hypnosis. So a bit unfortunate because I would have been able to get up another Spike, but I'm just going to going back into Zygarde because now he can't put me to sleep. His Gyro Ball shouldn't be doing that much because I'm a bulkier Zygarde and I'm not that speed invested. Or investment in speed, I guess would be a better way to say it. So right here he's going to go into Weavile. So his play is ISO Crash, and my best switch into that is Necrozma. I guess I could have gone a Selgor and sacked that off just because it was asleep. It hadn't burned a turn of sleep. But I decided hopefully maybe to bait him with the Necrozma. Unfortunately, he doesn't take the bait, so he actually goes straight into Clef. Now right here, I'm kind of making some misplays. One, I probably should have healed up my Necrozma just to have my Weavile check, because once it switches into rocks again, it's not a great Weave Auto check anymore. In fact, it doesn't check Weave Auto at all as I die to Ice Orb Crash. So I can't even switch in, or I can't even take a hit, let alone switch in. Also, I switched in my Celesteela too late here. I should have switched it in either right after the first Flash Cannon or right after the second Flash Cannon. As at this point he was pretty content to stay at this amount of HP, whereas before when he was 45% lower than this, he was definitely going to soft boiled to stay out of range of a 2-hit KO from Mega Diancie. So, but my Celesteela is still very healthy and it can still take on the Hacktress mostly. So right here I'm just going to go off for Heavy Slam because it just does a ton of damage. And basically now he's out of range of rocks. He's going to go for his Z move Dark Pulse here, which is actually going to put me in range of Hidden Power Ice. I'm not sure what the rolls were on that, but honestly, even if they were high rolls, which I don't think they were, you know, yes, it's kind of deserved for the Leech Seed miss. But here, I can go to my Mega Diancie. I already saw the Z move. I saw that he switched up moves, so I know he's not Scarfed. I know I should outspeed. And if I had an outsped, that would have been kind of sucky. But luckily, you know, Showdown didn't mess up my EVs. Luckily, I didn't mess up my speed tiers. You know, I had the right speed on my Mega Diancie, so I was able to kill that. So here I'm predicting a Metal Claw, so I'm just going to sack off my Selgor. Even if he SDs here, he will be in range of E-Speed. And again, same thing happened for here. In fact, it's actually better that that I didn't die to that Metal Claw, because now he's in range of rocks, so saving his Weavile does him no good here. So I'm just going to go for the E-Speed. And he's going to take this time to go into his Venusaur and heal up. So, you know, good play on his part. As I go straight in my Necrozma, I outspeed this thing unless he's got some good speed investment, and I can do a lot of damage to him. So I go for a Psychic here and do a good amount of damage to the Clef. Not great, but I basically am able to then go for some Flash Cannons, and I actually do get the Spadef drop on the first one. Pretty unfortunate, but if I hadn't gotten the... I guess if I hadn't gotten the Spadef drop there, it would have been like a 50-50 of whether he would heal up again or if he would go for D-Bolt. If I went into my Celesteela, then I would most likely die to the T-Bolt depending on rolls. But here, obviously, because not only am I able to stay in with this Necrozma, but because of the Spadef drop, a Psychic would do around 50%, and even if he Calm Minded, he would still be in range of Flash Cannon. So I'm able to go for Psychic and get much more damage off on this Hacktress, put in range actually of 2 Rock Switch-ins. So here I'm going to sack off my Hacktress. I could have gone into my Diancie predicting the Dragon move, but if he went for a Earthquake, then that was too risky for me. But I guess at the same time, then I would get a free kill with Celesteela. So maybe Mega Diancie should have been my play. I might have actually been able to, you know, get a pretty big win here if I would have gone straight Diancie. But I just didn't want to risk it as I see the end in sight. So over here, I'm going to go for a Moonblast, and then I'm going to go for a Psychic. It actually does go into Clef. I guess it was pretty safe considering Diamond Storm nor Moonblast killed, but, you know, works out for him. So I go for Moonblast, get a special attack drop. Don't quite kill. Maybe I should calc to see how Spadef that was, and maybe if Diamond Storm might have killed. But here I'm going to go for another Moonblast. And I'm just going to keep spamming Moonblast. That's my best play, because either way, I outspeed this Clef, most likely. Unless, again, he's... But, like, I know that he's got to have, like, some really good mixed defense investment at this point, because... So I know that my Celesteela will almost surely outspeed. And right here, I keep on getting Spadef special attack drops, so even if he does go for a Moonblast, it's not going to kill me. And... he actually goes for a Calm Mind here, and really, as long as he was below like 40-ish% at all, as soon as he went for a Calm Mind and he was like that low, Diamond Storm was able to pick up the kill. And again, I could have risked my Celesteela here, but like Celesteela is just my way of winning, so I don't want to risk that at all, as I can just Heavy Slam here as he's locked into EQ, as you know, he was Scarfed. Which we found out. I guess at the same time, I didn't know if he was Scarf, so I guess that's why. So yeah, I guess when I made that assumption, I should have gone into Mega Diancie there. I didn't know at that time he was scarfed when I sacked off my Necrozma. I wasn't sure at that time if he was scarfed or not. But after he asked about my Mega Dynasty, I knew. So, I mean, I guess in the end, safer play won. So I could have maybe preserved a differential point or two. But again, the win was more important. Wins are more important at this point than differential. I mean, differential is pretty important for playoff if I want to make playoffs, but wins are almost as important as differential, and wins are more important than differential in terms of the relegation, what's going to go on with that. So yeah, I gotta just win whatever way. Don't want to cost myself a game because I'm trying to preserve differential when the win is much more important at this stage. But yeah, definitely a good game. The lead sheet miss did hurt. The special attacks drops and the Spadef drop on Clef was unfortunate, but that just made that it's hard to explain because no matter what, he wasn't. From what I saw, he wasn't Cosmic Power. Now I actually checked his Clef set to see what the EVs were. I don't think he wasn't Cosmic Power. So no matter what, Celesteela would come in later and get a kill anyway because I would outspeed. So that really only mattered. I guess that Spadef drop didn't matter that much because, yeah, I guess that Spadef drop didn't matter that much at that point. But it did make it a little tougher. Definitely a lot tougher for Kris to win. And then the special attack drops definitely did suck, but I don't think those like really cost anything. I don't think those were super important. Definitely a lead sheet miss early game. Who knows what would have happened in the game. Kris definitely would have had a lot better of a chance of winning. I'm not saying that he would have definitely won though. Again, it was turn 7. It was turn 7 in a 39 turn game, and it's really tough to say how much hacks in early in the game of a many turn game really affects the game. So yeah, hacks was definitely unfortunate. I'm not going to say that I would have won without the hacks. I'm not going to say that Kris would have won without the hacks. I'm just going to choose to say that the hacks was really unfortunate and it could have affected the game's outcome, and it in some case did affect the game's outcome, whether it was differential or even who won. But I'm not going to say for sure this lead sheet miss changed who won the game because it was just too early to truly know how important it would be. Because, I know I'm kind of rambling, but I just kind of want to get this explanation. Venusaur would have been definitely healthier, which would have meant it could have maybe switched into Celesteela, switched into Diancie. But at the same time, judging off that Moonblast damage, like after rocks, like Moonblast plus Psychic would do an absolute crap ton to make a Venusaur anyway. So, I mean, it's tough to say. Maybe I'll do some calcs after this recording is done and see how much it mattered in terms of like Mega Dynasty versus Mega Venusaur, all that, just to see like truly how much. I guess you guys won't end up knowing, but I'll know, and maybe Kris will know how much it really did matter. But I'm really sorry for rambling. I hope you guys are not like thinking I'm trying to diss off the hacks. I'm definitely not. The hacks definitely mattered in some way, shape, or form. But I'll still take it. I'll take the win. I need any win I can get. And even if 100% the hacks mattered, I wouldn't have won without the hacks. I would have still taken the hacks with a little bit more regret, but I would have still taken it because wins are wins. It doesn't matter how clean it is. It doesn't matter who it is against. Wins are wins at this point, and they are very important for not only the playoff race, which I still think I am probably not going to make, but they're very important for the relegation, which I definitely do not want to get relegated. So yeah, enough rambling. I'm sorry for the rambling, but I just want to get out my thoughts there about the match and about just post stuff. So next week we'll play Gypsy, and thankfully next week ends our torturous 3-game stretch, and then after that we play Razor, and then we play Merc, and then we play Shoddy the last 3 weeks. So next 4 weeks are going to be interesting. Still have a tough last 4 weeks, but hopefully it'll get better Hopefully we can pick up at least another win or two this season. Heck, maybe even somehow win 3 or win out. You never know. But yeah, this has been your boy TrevCL, and I am signing out. Peace, guys.